Meet Arthur. He's 67. His portfolio just crossed his target number, and he is miserable. He spent 4 decades optimizing every paycheck to reach this exact moment, yet he finds himself frozen, trapped by the very habits that built his wealth. Arthur's situation is a common one. 78% of retirees harbor deep financial regrets. When we isolate the data for the accumulation phase of their lives, 3 baseline mistakes dominate the chart: missing employer 401k matches, carrying high-interest credit card debt, and simply starting their savings too late. Passing up a few $1,000s of free employer money in your 20s doesn't hurt immediately, but through the math of compound growth, that initial gap exponentially widens, leaving a massive, unrecoverable wealth deficit by age 65. People make these mechanical errors because the saving phase offers a deceptive psychological comfort. For 40 years, the rules are simple: put money away, watch the balance grow, and feel secure. Accumulating money feels inherently safe. The prospect of actually spending it, drawing that balance down, triggers an immediate sense of panic. This creates a direct conflict between 2 fears. We spend decades terrified of outliving our money, yet many reach the end of their lives realizing they hoarded a pile of cash they no longer have the time to spend. Nailing the math of a compound interest calculator is useless if you never learn how to transition from building wealth to using it. You have to master the psychology of spending. That fear of spending frequently manifests as the just one more year syndrome. Successful savers look at fully funded portfolios and decide to work 12 more months just to be safe. They trade their most active, healthy, irreplaceable years for additional financial padding the math shows they will never need. This paralysis thrives in ambiguity. Without a comprehensive written financial plan that tests different spending scenarios and lifespans, retirees have no concrete proof that their money will last. They rely on vague feelings of insecurity instead of tested numbers. This chart shows what happens when that insecurity dictates investment strategy. A retiree terrified of market drops might shift their entire nest egg into cash or low-yield bonds. But over a 20-year span, a steeply rising power of that money is quietly destroyed. Then comes the tax trap. This stacked bar chart illustrates the shock many face when they begin pulling money from traditional pre-tax 401ks. Because those withdrawals are taxed as ordinary income, stacking them on top of Social Security or pension payouts pushes retirees over the threshold into unexpectedly high tax brackets. That same fear of market volatility drives people to claim Social Security as soon as they can, usually at age 62. By locking in a permanently reduced monthly check instead of waiting until age 70, they forfeit the highest guaranteed lifetime payout available to them. Letting the anxiety of market swings dictate your strategy feels safer in the moment. But making financial decisions to avoid temporary emotional discomfort today guarantees permanent 6-figure mathematical losses tomorrow. When retirees feel overwhelmed by these withdrawal mechanics, they often look for an escape hatch. They hand total control over to a financial advisor, trusting someone else to navigate the complexity. Here is a visualization of the long-term cost of that convenience. This compares a $1 million portfolio over 30 years. On the right, a standard 1% assets under management, or AUM, fee is applied. That single percentage point acts as a continuous leak, siphoning off $300,000 of potential wealth. The danger extends beyond the fees. Blindly relying on a percentage-based advisor keeps you in the dark. If you never learn how your own withdrawal mechanics and risk exposures actually work, you cannot make informed choices when your life circumstances change. That lack of understanding becomes critical when the body starts to age. The second major external shock that unravels poorly planned retirements is the chronic underestimation of lifetime healthcare costs. This ledger identifies the baseline cost of aging. A 65-year-old couple retiring today will need approximately $315,000 just to cover medical expenses, like premiums and out-of-pocket deductibles. As the ledger specifies, this figure does not include the potential cost of long-term care facilities or in-home nursing. If you refuse to engage with your own numbers, your life savings are left entirely vulnerable to systemic wealth extraction from advisory fees and the biological inevitabilities of aging. Even for those who successfully navigate the taxes, the fees, and the medical bills, a different kind of deficit often emerges. Many retirees look back and realize that while they optimized their portfolios, they never actually budgeted for their own happiness. They encounter the every day is Saturday dilemma. During your working years, leisure costs money mostly on the weekends. In retirement, without a structured lifestyle budget, people either blindly overspend on daily entertainment or they become so paralyzed by the lack of a paycheck that they spend nothing at all. Fixing this requires 3 specific steps. First, build a written, stress-tested financial plan. Run the math on extended inflation spikes and sudden health shocks, so you have mathematical proof that your baseline survival is secure. Second, seek out a flat-fee fiduciary advisor for a second opinion. Instead of locking into an ongoing percentage fee, pay a one-time cost to have an expert optimize your tax sequencing and withdrawal strategies. Finally, establish a dedicated fund budget. By cleanly separating your survival capital from your lifestyle capital, you give yourself the psychological permission you need to actually enjoy your wealth. Ultimately, a retirement plan is a tool for converting a lifetime of labor into a series of meaningful choices. The goal is to reach the end with a record of memories purchased and time reclaimed, rather than just a surplus of unspent capital and unresolved anxiety.